Let's face it, the information around Medicare can be quite confusing, and many people have quite the challenge figuring out what plans best fit their unique situation. It can truly be a challenging process to make the right decision. You have to consider quite a few things. When is it the best time to enroll in Medicare Part A and B? Is the Medicare supplement plan or an Advantage plan right for you? Which drug plan is best for your situation? And how should your future plans impact your Medicare decisions? And even if you have the right answers to these questions, you'll need to compare the companies and prices for all these options and then complete the enrollment paperwork properly and on time. I've seen it happen too many times. People making costly mistakes during this process and ending up paying penalties or getting stuck on a plan with limited coverage and unexpected out-of-pocket healthcare costs. There's plenty of people out there offering to help you figure all this out, but the truth is educating yourself on the different intricacies of Medicare is the key to making the right decisions. In many cases, all they want to do is sell you a plan, and often it's the plan that makes them the most money instead of the plan that works best for you. You must be tired of all those sales ads and phone calls, your mailbox overflowing, and insurance companies claiming they have the perfect plan for you. But guess what? Medicare doesn't have to be so complicated. Hi, I'm George Holmes, Chief Educator here at CoverageAcademy.com. We believe there's a better way to navigate Medicare through education, empowering you to make the right informed decisions on Medicare. And for more than 25 years, it's been my mission to help people truly grasp their Medicare options before making any decisions. We've already helped tens of thousands of individuals across the country in transforming their uncertainty about Medicare into confidence in their choices. I have a few things I want to go over with you today to make sure you get a better understanding of your options when it comes to Medicare. In the next few minutes, I'll first explain enrollment periods so you'll know exactly when and how to enroll in Medicare Parts A and B. We'll discuss the financial risk of Medicare and how you can protect yourself from hefty medical bills. I'll make it simple by highlighting the 6 key differences between Medicare supplements and Medicare Advantage plans, enabling you to choose the right one for you. You'll also discover how to select the best prescription drug plan and lower your out-of-pocket medication cost. And by the end of our conversation, you'll have a clear understanding of your Medicare options. Any stress you felt about Medicare will be gone, and you'll have the confidence to choose the insurance plans that suit you best. And as a bonus, I'll introduce you to our team of fully licensed Medicare guides who are available to answer your questions and assist you in all of your enrollment decisions and paperwork. And that's at no cost to you. So sit back, relax, and by the time we're finished, you'll know exactly what to do. You'll be able to find the best Medicare plans for your specific situation, ensuring a worry-free retirement. So let's dive in to the process of getting a Medicare card and the understanding the timeline for enrollment. When you reach the age of 65, you'll be eligible to receive a Medicare card, which grants you access to valuable healthcare benefits. If you're already receiving Social Security benefits, you don't need to worry about enrolling separately because Medicare will automatically enroll you. They are aware of your impending 65th birthday and assume that you want to start your Medicare benefits at that time. Now, to ensure a smooth transition, Medicare will mail you the Medicare card a few months before your 65th birth month. Typically, our eligibility for Medicare starts in the month we turn 65. However, there's a special rule for those born on the first day of any month. In such cases, your Medicare eligibility actually kicks in the 1 month earlier. For instance, if your birthday falls on July 1st, you can begin your Medicare coverage in June. Now let's explore the scenario where you're not currently receiving Social Security benefits, but you still want to start Medicare at the age of 65. In this case, you'll need to take the initiative and enroll yourself. The key aspect to remember is the timing of your enrollment. Medicare provides a specific period known as the initial enrollment period, which spans 7 months. During this period, you can sign up for Medicare and choose when you want your coverage to commence. To make it easier to understand, let's consider an example here. Suppose your birthday falls between July 2nd and July 31st, and you decide your Medicare coverage to begin during your 65th birth month. In this scenario, you have the option to enroll in April, May, or June. However, if you delay and enroll in July itself, your coverage will start the following month. To further illustrate, let's explore another example. If your birthday is in July and you decide to enroll in August, your coverage will kick in during September. And if you choose to enroll in September, Medicare will start in October, and so on. If your birthday is in July and you fail to enroll before October 31st, you will have to wait until the following January, February, or March to enroll. Then you have to wait until July for your coverage to begin, and you may have to pay a late enrollment penalty. So it's crucial to understand that the specific month in which you enroll determines when your Medicare coverage will start. If you enroll 3 months prior to turning 65, your coverage will begin on your birth month. However, if you delay your enrollment and sign up later, your coverage will be delayed. Some of you won't or are not planning to start Medicare at 65. And that's likely because either you or your spouse are still working and have insurance provided by your employer that offers better coverage than Medicare. This is a common scenario for many individuals. Now, let's talk about what happens when you turn 65 and are eligible for Medicare. If you're on a group plan with 19 or fewer people, it's important to enroll in both Medicare Part A and Part B. Why? Well, here's the deal. If you have any claims, your group plan will only pay second to Medicare. That means Medicare becomes the primary payer and your group plan becomes the secondary payer. And here's a little example to help you understand better. Let's say you have Medicare and your group plan. If you have a medical expense, Medicare will cover its portion first, and then your group plan will step in and cover any remaining cost. It's important to note that once you have Medicare, it usually doesn't make sense to keep the group plan. You might want to explore other options like supplemental plans or advantage plans that can enhance your Medicare coverage. However, if you decide to stick with the group plan and it still has 19 or fewer people, it will continue to pay second to Medicare. In this case, it's mandatory for you to enroll in Medicare to ensure proper coverage. On the flip side, if you're on a group plan with 20 or more people, Medicare will pay second and your group plan will pay first. This means that many people in this situation choose not to enroll in Medicare at all because their group plan provides sufficient coverage as the primary payer. But let's say you or your spouse are still working and covered by a group plan with 20 or more people. In that case, you don't have to take any action with Medicare. You can continue to rely on your group plan for coverage. However, it's worth considering that at some point, you may want to transition off the group plan. This could happen due to retirement or the group plan is no longer as good as Medicare in terms of benefits and coverage. When that time comes, you can enroll in Medicare at a later date. Typically, this happens when you're at least 65 years and 4 months old. When you decide to enroll in Medicare after delaying, you'll go through a special enrollment period. Now, this period has a different process compared to enrolling at 65. Here's where it takes a bit more detail. To enroll, you need to complete 2 forms, the L564 and the CMS 40B. The L564 is a 1-page document that serves as proof to Medicare through the Social Security office that you or your spouse were employed and had insurance covered since turning 65. It's important to show that you had active employment-based coverage during this time. Now let's talk about the CMS 40B form. It's a simple form that lets Medicare know the specific date you want your Medicare coverage to begin. For example, if your work insurance is ending on June 30th, you could indicate on the CMS 40B form that you want your Medicare coverage to start on July 1st. Now, this form helps Medicare align your coverage start date with the end of your current work insurance. Now, let's dive into the details of Medicare and the CMS 40B form. Now, Medicare is a program that provides health insurance for people who are 65 or older, as well as for certain younger individuals with disabilities. When you have work insurance that will come to be the end of a specific date, it's important to let Medicare know when you want your Medicare coverage to start. This is where the CMS 40B form comes into play. Imagine this scenario. Your work insurance is ending on June 30th, and you want your Medicare coverage to start on July 1st. By filling out the CMS 40B form, you can inform Medicare about your desired start date. Now, this form is crucial because it helps align the start of your Medicare coverage with the end of your work insurance, ensuring a smooth transition. The date you submit the CMS 40B form determines when your Medicare coverage will begin. If you decide to enroll in Medicare when you turn 65 years old, the month you sign up will dictate the start date of your coverage. On the other hand, if you qualify for special enrollment period, the CMS 40B form allows you to specify when you want your coverage to begin. And remember, it's essential to submit this form no earlier than 90 days before the date you want your Medicare to start. To ensure a seamless transition from your work insurance to Medicare, it's best to reach out to us about 60 to 90 days before your group plan ends. We are here to assist you through the entire process, whether you're enrolling during the initial enrollment period or using the special enrollment period. Our team will guide you step by step and provide support with all the necessary paperwork. Now, keep in mind that you can find the CMS 40B form and all related documents online. Our team will be happy to assist you to make sure you fill it out correctly. Now, let's talk about Medicare Part A and Part B. Medicare provides you with two primary options to maximize your health care benefits: the original Medicare system and Advantage plans. Let's delve into the intricacies of the original Medicare system first. The original Medicare system is composed of two distinct parts, Part A and Part B. Now, Part A focuses on hospitalization, encompassing essential services such as nursing care, room and board, and the various tests you may undergo during your hospital stay. The Part B, on the other hand, caters to outpatient services and visits to healthcare providers like doctors. The great news is that for most individuals, Part A does not require a monthly premium. This is because the contributions you made through Medicare taxes during your working years covers its cost. However, there is a deductible associated with Part A. Now, think of it as an initial out-of-pocket expense you must pay before Medicare begins covering your hospital-related expenses. Now, here's where it becomes intriguing. This deductible is linked to a benefit period, which commences when you were admitted to the hospital. The benefit period lasts for 60 days during your discharge. During this period, if you require readmission to the hospital, you won't have to pay the deductible again. However, if more than 60 days lapses without any hospitalization, and then you need to be readmitted, you will initiate a new benefit period and be responsible for the deductible once more. But what happens if your hospital stay extends beyond 60 days? In such cases, you may encounter a daily copay. It's important to note that after the third month of continuous hospitalization, the copayment increases. While extended stays like these are relatively rare, it's crucial to be aware that if they do occur, they can become costly, and you will be responsible for the daily copays. Now let's shift our attention to the Advantage plans. These plans offer an alternative to the original Medicare system and are also referred to as replacement plans or C plans. When considering Advantage plans, you must make a decision between remaining with the original Medicare system or opting for an Advantage plan. It's imperative to understand that you cannot have both simultaneously. Advantage plans provide additional benefits that are not available through the original Medicare system. These benefits can include prescription drug coverage, dental and vision care, and even fitness programs. Now, by choosing an Advantage plan, you could potentially save money on out-of-pocket expenses for these services. In addition, Advantage plans often have a network of preferred healthcare providers. This means that by selecting an Advantage plan, you may have access to a wider range of doctors and specialists in hospitals. This can be especially beneficial if you have specific healthcare needs or prefer to see certain healthcare providers. Now, let me summarize this for you. The original Medicare system consists of Part A and Part B. Part A covers hospitalization while Part B covers outpatient services. Part A does not require a monthly premium for most individuals. There is a deductible associated with Part A. The deductible is linked to a benefit period of 60 days. Extended hospital stays may incur a daily copay. Advantage plans offer an alternative to the original Medicare system. Advantage plans provide additional benefits not available through original Medicare. Advantage plans may include prescription drug coverage, dental and vision care, and fitness programs. Advantage plans often have a network of preferred healthcare providers. Each Advantage plan has its own rules and restrictions. Now, some Advantage plans require referrals from a primary care physician before seeing a specialist. So look, it's important to carefully review the details of any Advantage plan you are considering. Each plan has its own set of rules and restrictions, and it's crucial to understand how these may affect your healthcare options. For example, some Advantage plans require you to obtain referrals from a primary care physician before seeing a specialist. The last thing I want to add to Part A is SNF, or skilled nursing facility. Medicare helps cover the costs of staying at a skilled nursing facility after being in the hospital for at least 72 hours. For the first 20 days at the SNF, Medicare pays for everything, so you don't have to worry about any costs during that time. Now, if you stay at the SNF for more than 20 days, you will need to pay a daily copay for the next 80 days. This means that after the initial 20 days, you will be responsible for a certain amount of money each day. Now, on average, most people stay at the SNF for about 30 to 35 days if they are covered by Medicare. This means that they will have to pay the daily copay for about 15 days, which can add up to $2,000 to $3,000 out of their own pocket. Now, it's important to remember that this coverage applies specifically to hospitalization and skilled nursing services. Medicare will only pay for your SNF stay if you meet the 72-hour requirement and if you are receiving skilled nursing care. So to summarize, SNF. Medicare pays for the first 20 days at the SNF if you meet the 72-hour requirement. After the initial 20 days, you have to pay a daily copay for the next 80 days. Most people stay at the SNF for around 30 to 35 days, resulting in a daily copay for about 15 days. Medicare coverage for SNF is only for hospitalization and skilled nursing services. Medicare B is an important part of Medicare that helps cover your medical expenses. It's essential to understand how it works, so let's explore in a little bit more detail. First, let's talk about the premium. This is the amount you have to pay for Medicare Part B. Most people need to pay this premium, but if you have low income and assets and qualify for Medicaid, you might get some help or assistance with your Part B premium. There are different payments and payment options available. Now, you can have the premium deducted from your Social Security check, receive a bill every 3 months, or set up a monthly bank draft. Now, let's delve into how much you have to pay for Part B. The amount varies based on your income and tax filing status. In 2024, Medicare will look at your income from 2022 to determine your premium. If you're single and your income is $103,000 or less, you will pay $174.70. If you're married and your combined income is $206,000 or less, both you and your spouse will pay $174.70. Now, it's important to note that if your income exceeds these amounts, you may have to pay an additional surcharge called an IRMA surcharge. Now, however, the majority of people will pay the standard premium mentioned earlier. Now, let's move on to Part B deductible. This is a fixed amount that you have to pay each year. Unlike Part A deductible, which you have to pay multiple times, the Part B deductible only needs to be paid once a year. It's based on the calendar year. In 2024, the Part B deductible is $240. And once you've met the Part B deductible, Medicare will cover a portion of your medical expenses. They will pay 80% of the approved amount of your outpatient and doctor services. You will be responsible for the remaining 20%, which is called coinsurance. It's important to be aware that the 20% coinsurance can add up if you don't have any additional insurance coverage. There's no limit to how much you might have to pay out of pocket, which can become a significant financial burden, and especially if you require frequent medical care or see multiple doctors. Now, most doctors accept Medicare-approved amounts as payment in full, but some doctors may charge an extra 15% above the approved amount. This additional charge is called an excess charge, and it's important to be aware that you may be responsible for paying it if it applies. Here's what we just covered in regards to Medicare Part B. Medicare B has a premium that most people need to pay, but low-income individuals may qualify for assistance. The premium can be deducted from your Social Security check, billed quarterly, or set up for monthly bank draft. The premium amount is based on your income and tax filing status. There is a deductible for Medicare B that needs to be met once a year, and currently it's set at $240. After meeting the deductible, Medicare will cover 80% of approved outpatient and doctor services, and you will be responsible for the remaining 20%. If you don't have additional insurance, the 20% coinsurance can add up, as there is no limit to how much you might have to pay out of pocket. Now, most doctors accept Medicare-approved amounts, but some may charge an excess charge of up to 15%. So it's important to be aware of the financial responsibilities associated with Medicare B and consider supplementing your coverage with additional insurance such as Medigap or Medicare supplement plans. So really, while Medicare B provides coverage for a significant portion of your medical costs, it's crucial to understand that there are still financial responsibilities associated with it. Many people choose to supplement their Medicare coverage by purchasing additional insurance, such as Medigap or Medicare supplement plans. Now, these plans help cover the gaps in coverage and provide financial protection. It's essential to explore your options and understand the associated costs to make informed decisions about your healthcare coverage. Within Medicare, there are different plans available to provide additional coverage and fill in the gaps left by the original Medicare. Now here, I'll explain two popular plans called Plan G and Plan F, focusing on the context of Medicare. So let's start with Plan F. In the past, Plan F used to be very popular, but now it's not available for most people. If you were born before January 1, 1955 and started Medicare before January 1, 2020, you can still choose Plan F. However, if you were born after that date, you won't have the option to select Plan F. Now let's shift our focus attention to the majority of people watching this. Plan G is a great option that has 5 out of the 6 gaps in coverage. These gaps include things like deductibles and co-payments and coinsurance. The only expense you'll have to pay in Plan G is a B deductible, which is an amount you pay once a year. When you have a supplement plan like Plan G, you enjoy some important benefits. First, you have the freedom to choose any doctor, hospital, or provider that accepts Medicare. This means you're not limited to specific networks, and you can receive care from the healthcare professionals you trust. Second, you don't need referrals to see specialists or receive specialized care. Unlike some other health insurance plans With Original Medicare and a supplemental plan like Plan G, you can directly contact a specialist and schedule an appointment without having to go through a primary care doctor or obtain a referral. Here's another advantage of having a supplemental plan. You don't have to deal with pre-authorization. Pre-authorizations are when an insurance company needs to approve certain medical services, such as surgeries, tests, or procedures before they can be performed. With Plan G and Original Medicare, as long as your doctor determines that you need the medical service and Medicare covers it, you can proceed without the hassle of waiting for pre-authorization. Moreover, supplemental plans are written for life as long as you continue to pay your premium. This means that once you have a Plan G in place, the insurance company cannot cancel your plan because of your age, the amount of claims you make, or even if you decide to move to another state. Your coverage is portable and you can enjoy the same benefits and protections anywhere in the United States. So here's what we just covered. Plan F is no longer available for most people, except for those who started Medicare before January 1, 2020. Plan G is a popular option that fills in 5 out of the 6 gaps in coverage. Now, with Plan G, you only need to pay the B deductible once a year. Supplemental plans like Plan G have no networks, allowing you to choose any doctor or provider that accepts Medicare. Referrals are not required when you have a supplemental plan. So you can directly see specialists without going through a primary care doctor. Now, pre-authorizations are not needed with Plan G and Original Medicare, as long as your doctor determines the medical service is necessary and Medicare covers it. Supplemental plans are written for life, and the coverage cannot be canceled due to age, claim amount, or relocation. Plan G offers the same coverage and benefits nationwide, making it portable and convenient. So to sum it up, Plan G is a popular choice among Medicare beneficiaries because it provides comprehensive coverage, filling in most of the gaps left by Original Medicare. With Plan G, you have the freedom to choose your doctor or provider. You don't need referrals, and you can skip the pre-authorization process. And additionally, your Plan G coverage is guaranteed as long as you pay your premium, and it's giving you peace of mind and stability. When it comes to Medicare coverage, Plan N is another option that many people choose. It's a popular plan with a different letter. And the best part is that it has a lower premium compared to other plans. But here's the catch. With Plan N, you will have some financial responsibilities. Just like with the previous plan we discussed, you will still need to pay the B deductible. That's the amount you have to pay before your Medicare coverage kicks in. But that's not all. If there's an excess charge, you will have to pay for that yourself too. Now, let's talk about excess charges. The G plan we mentioned earlier covers those charges, but Plan N does not. So what does that mean for you? It means that you need to be prepared for an extra charge that may come up. It's like when you go to the store with a set amount of money to buy something, but then you find out that the thing you want to buy costs more than what you have. In that case, you have to pay the extra amount yourself, and that's what happens with excess charges under Plan N. You might be wondering, how many doctors apply the excess charge? Well, currently, only around 10% of doctors. This might change in the future, but right now, it's not a big risk. So if you have a doctor you really like, you should check if they accept this plan before making a decision. Apart from the B deductible and potential excess charges, there are a couple of other costs you need to keep in mind with Plan N. First, for each visit to the doctor, you will pay a $20 copay. It's like a small fee you have to pay for the visit. And if you ever need to go to the emergency room, there is a $50 copay for that as well. So it's important to know these costs because they can add up over time. So with Plan N, you pay a lower premium, which means you pay less money each month. However, It also means that you have some additional costs to consider, like the B deductible, potential excess charges, and copays for doctor visits and emergency room visits. So to sum it up, the top two Medicare plans on the market are the Plan G and the Plan N. It's up to you to decide which one works best for you based on your needs and budget. So remember, it's important to choose a plan that fits you well so that you can have the right coverage and peace of mind. Now, when it comes to Medicare plans G and N, you have the freedom to choose the insurance company that suits you best. This means that you can shop around and compare different insurance companies to find the one that offers the best prices and customer service. And the best part? The coverage and access to doctors will be the same no matter which company you choose. Now here's the deal. Medicare ensures that plans G and N offer the exact same coverage regardless of the insurance company. So whether you choose Plan G from ABC Insurance Company or Plan G from XYZ Insurance Company, you can rest assured that the coverage will be identical. This means that you won't have to worry about one company paying more bills or offering different types of coverage. It's all standardized to give you peace of mind. So let's break it down even further. These plans are designed to provide extra coverage on top of what Medicare already offers. So whether you go with Plan G or Plan N, you'll get the same level of coverage. It doesn't matter if you buy it from ABC Insurance Company or XYZ Insurance Company. The coverage stays consistent, giving you the reassurance that you'll receive the same benefits no matter which insurance company you choose. Now let's talk about doctors. With plans G and N, there are no specific networks to worry about. This means that you have the flexibility to choose any doctor who accepts Medicare. Medicare itself is your network. So any doctor who accepts Medicare will also accept your chosen supplemental plan. This ensures that you can continue seeing the doctor you trust without any restrictions or limitations. And one more thing to remember. No referrals or pre-authorizations are required with these plans. This means that you have the freedom to seek medical care without any unnecessary hurdles or delays. These plans are designed to provide you with lifetime coverage, ensuring that you have peace of mind knowing that your healthcare needs are taken care of. It's important to understand that while there may be differences between insurance companies in terms of pricing and customer service and additional benefits, the core coverage itself remains consistent. Medicare guarantees that plans G and N offer the same coverage regardless of the insurance company you choose. So when making your decision, focus on finding the insurance company that aligns with your needs and preferences, and enjoy the security of knowing that you'll receive the same level of coverage no matter which company you select. And when you go to the doctor or hospital with your Medicare and supplemental insurance cards, you don't need to worry about filing any claims. The provider will do that for you. First, Medicare pays for most of the bill. And then they send the remaining balance to your supplemental insurance company. Your supplemental insurance will cover the rest of the cost according to the plan you choose. So you don't have to handle any complicated paperwork or worry about different bills from different companies. Now let's break it down step by step. Step 1. You show your Medicare and supplemental insurance card to the doctor or hospital. Step 2. They file the claim with Medicare, which pays for most of the bill. Step 3. Medicare then sends the balance to your supplemental insurance company. And step 4. Your supplemental insurance company pays for the remaining cost based on your chosen plan. So, whether you have a Plan G or a Plan N, the claims process works the same way. You don't have to worry about different types of bills or amounts. The important thing is that Medicare and your supplemental insurance work together to make sure you're covered. So remember, you don't have to deal with claims yourself. Medicare and your supplemental insurance have got you covered. Now let's talk about the importance of customer service. It's crucial to have reliable support when dealing with your healthcare needs. Now, sometimes when you call an insurance company's 800 number, you'll have a wonderful experience. The person on the other end will be friendly, well-trained, and ready to take care of all of your needs. Now, however, there are instances when the experience may not be as pleasant. That's why we have our own dedicated customer support team. We want to ensure that you are not just a number to us, but a valued individual whom we can assist in every possible way. Now, let's shift our focus to the cost of the plan. The initial premium is the amount you have to pay when you first enroll in a Medicare plan. This premium is determined by several factors, including like your age, location, smoking status, and gender. Different insurance companies have different premium rates, but most plans lock in the initial premium for the first 12 months. This means that you won't experience any rate increases during this period. However, it's important to note that after the first year, there may be some increases in the premium. Another vital aspect to consider is the stability of the premium. This refers to how the rate might change over time. It's important to understand that rates for all Medicare plans tend to increase due to the rising cost of medical care. However, some insurance companies have a history of raising their rates more frequently and by larger amounts than others. To ensure your peace of mind, we thoroughly evaluate the performance and track record of insurance companies over the past 10 years. This helps us identify and recommend those companies that have demonstrated stability and reliability in their premium rates. In summary, when choosing a Medicare plan, it's essential to think about customer service, the initial premium, and the stability of rates. Now, we want to ensure that you have the best possible experience and access to the most affordable coverage available. Our goal is to provide you with peace of mind and the assurance that you are receiving the highest level of support and value for your healthcare needs. When it comes to receiving your Medicare benefits, you have two options to consider. One option is sticking with original Medicare, Part A and Part B, and adding a supplemental plan like Plan G or Plan N. Now, this combination ensures that you have comprehensive coverage for your healthcare needs. Option 2 is choosing an Advantage plan known as Medicare Part C. This plan offers an alternative way to receive your Medicare benefits, often with additional benefits like prescription drug coverage and dental services. Let's talk about Medicare Advantage plans. Now, these plans work in a different way than original Medicare. One big difference is that each Medicare Advantage plan has its own network of doctors and hospitals. There are two types of networks within Medicare Advantage plans, HMO and PPO. HMO networks have a smaller box of choices, which means you have fewer options when it comes to choosing healthcare providers. On the other hand, PPO networks are usually larger because more doctors are willing to be a part of them. If you have an HMO plan, you must stay within the network, except for emergencies or urgent care situations. Think of it like being inside a solid box. However, if you have a PPO plan, you have a larger network and the flexibility to go out of network if you need to. Staying within the network of doctors and hospitals has its advantages. It generally costs less, you have lower co-pays for visits, and you pay less out of pocket for medical services. On the other hand, going out of network usually costs you more money, but having a PPO plan gives you the option to do so if necessary. Now, let's shift our focus to Original Medicare. Unlike Medicare Advantage plans, Original Medicare doesn't have a specific network. You have the freedom to choose any doctor or hospital that accepts Medicare. All you need to do is ask them, do you take Medicare? And they will also accept your supplemental plan if you have one. Now, in short, Original Medicare and Medicare Advantage plans have their own distinct features. With Medicare Advantage plans, you need to check if your preferred healthcare provider is part of the HMO or PPO network. On the other hand, Original Medicare allows you to choose any Medicare accepting doctor or hospital. Now let's talk some details about Medicare Advantage plans, sometimes also referred to as Part C. Consider Original Medicare first. Under this plan, you can pay a monthly premium, a monthly fee to have access to healthcare services. In addition to the premium, you also have deductibles and coinsurance. Deductibles are the initial amount of money you have to pay out of your own pocket before Medicare begins to assist with covering healthcare costs. For instance, if you need to visit a doctor, you may be required to pay a copay, which is a specific amount or percentage of the visit cost. This means you are responsible for a portion of the expense, which Medicare covers the remaining portion. Now, let's shift our focus to Medicare Advantage plans, which operate on a different payment structure. Instead of paying a monthly premium, paying in advance, you pay for the healthcare services as you use them or as you go. This means that when you need to see a doctor or undergo a medical procedure, you pay a predetermined amount known as a copay for that particular service. Medicare Advantage plans also incorporate a maximum limit on out-of-pocket expenses for a given year, ranging from $3,500 to $10,000. Once you reach this limit, you won't have to make any further payments for covered services throughout the rest of the year. Now, there's more to Medicare Advantage plans worth considering. These plans often include additional benefits that go beyond what Original Medicare offers. These extra benefits can be incredibly valuable. For example, some plans encompass prescription drug coverage, helping you afford the cost of your medications. Others might provide access to gym memberships, enabling you to stay active and maintain good health. Dental care, vision care, and even over-the-counter benefits are frequently included as well. It's like receiving special perks alongside your regular healthcare coverage. So it's important to note that the specifics of Medicare Advantage plans can vary depending on your location and the particular plan you choose. While you can't customize your benefits to your exact preferences, you will have different options to consider. Now, therefore, it's essential to carefully review the details of each plan to determine which one aligns best with your needs and priorities. To summarize, Medicare Advantage plans offer an alternative approach to receiving health care coverage. Instead of paying a monthly premium, you pay for services as you utilize them. Now, these plans often come with added benefits that can prove highly advantageous. And that said, as with every option, it's all about taking your situation into consideration. Medicare Advantage plans have benefits, but also they have some drawbacks. Now let's talk about these drawbacks in more detail. One significant drawback is that Advantage plans can change every year. It's important to understand that these plans work as a contract between Medicare, you, and the insurance company. But they are only valid for 1 calendar year. This means that the company can make changes to the plans, the network or healthcare providers, and even increase the maximum out-of-pocket cost. Additionally, they can adjust the coverage for prescription drugs. So these plans can be quite dynamic and subject to annual modifications. If you are not satisfied with your current plan, you have the option to switch to a different one in the following year. Another crucial factor to consider is pre-authorizations. This term refers to the process of obtaining approval from the insurance company before undergoing certain medical procedures or treatments. For instance, if your doctor recommends a test, surgery, or a stay in the hospital or skilled nursing facility, the insurance company must give their approval beforehand. And sometimes they grant the authorization promptly. But in other cases, there might be delays or even denials. To illustrate this, let me share an example. If someone requires a full hip replacement, but their Advantage plan only approved 9 months of therapy instead. Similarly, another person needed a full hip replacement, but their plan would only cover the cost of the rod. So it's important to understand that Advantage plans have the final say in some of your healthcare decisions, unlike original Medicare with a supplemental plan where Medicare and your doctor make all the decisions together. It's crucial to note that if you decide to switch to a supplemental plan, you must meet certain health requirements to qualify. This means that you need to meet specific medical criteria in order to be eligible for a supplemental plan. So while Advantage plans offer benefits, it's essential to be aware of these drawbacks and how they can influence your healthcare decisions. Therefore, it's always advisable to carefully review and understand your Medicare coverage options and make the best choice for your individual needs. Medicare Advantage offers some additional perks that can make them look more appealing. Now, these perks may include things like gym memberships, coverage for dental, vision, and hearing services. However, it's important to consider that Advantage plans often come with networks and restrictions that dictate which doctors and healthcare providers you can see. This means that you may have to choose from a specific list of healthcare providers. Additionally, for about 70% of the services you may receive, you'll need to obtain pre-approval from the plan before you can access them. And while Advantage plans may have lower or no monthly premiums, you'll have to make co-payments for each service you use. And on the other hand, supplemental plans, also known as Medigap plans, focus solely on providing insurance coverage. While they may not offer as many extra perks as Advantage plans, they provide you with the freedom to go to any doctor or healthcare provider that accepts Medicare. This means you have a wider range of choices when it comes to your healthcare. Unlike Advantage plans, you won't need to obtain pre-authorization for services. Instead of paying co-payments for each service, you'll pay a premium for the plan itself. Now, let's delve into the prescription drug coverage. If you decide to stick with original Medicare, you'll need to enroll in a specific drug plan. These drug plans can vary in terms of the number of medications they cover, which is referred to as the formulary size. A good drug plan may cover approximately 3,500 medications. A better plan may cover around 5,000 medications. And the best plan may provide coverage for up to 7,000 medications. It's also worth noting that each plan has a network of pharmacies. Some pharmacies are considered preferred, which means they offer better prices. On the other hand, some pharmacies are standard, which means you may have to pay a higher copay if you use them. It's important to understand that if you initially choose Medicare Advantage and later decide to switch to a supplemental plan, there may be a certain challenge to consider. You may need to go through a process called medical qualification, which involves answering health questions, providing your medication history, and obtaining a statement from your doctor. This can be a bit challenging if your health condition has changed while you were enrolled in the Advantage plan. So when you're exploring options, it's crucial to take into account the perks, network restrictions, pre-authorizations, premiums or co-payments, and prescription drug coverage that each plan offers. Advantage plans may have perks, but they also come with restrictions and the need for medical qualification if you want to switch to a supplemental plan later on. Now, supplemental plans, on the other hand, offer more freedom and no pre-authorizations, but they don't come with as many perks. When it comes to prescription drugs, you have the choice to get a separate drug plan with preferred pharmacies and a formulary that suits your needs. It's important to understand your options and choose the plan that best fits your healthcare needs. It's like picking the right puzzle piece that fits perfectly into your healthcare puzzle. Now, when it comes to drug plans in Medicare, the most important thing to consider is the formulary. Think of the formulary as a list of all the medications that the plan covers. Some plans have a good formulary that covers most medications, while others have a better formulary that covers even more. In fact, there's a small percentage of plans, about 1%, that have the best formulary, covering almost anything and everything you need. But it's not just about the formulary. You also need to think about your copays. Copays are the amounts you pay for each medication. Different plans have different copays, so it's important to know what your cost will be on the specific plan. For example, one plan may have a $10 copay for a medication, while another plan may have a $20 copay for the same medication. Understanding your copays helps you budget for your healthcare expenses. Now, here's the exciting part. You can switch drug plans or even Medicare Advantage plans every year between October 15th and December 7th. And the best part is, there's no need to answer any health questions or go through a medical evaluation when you switch. It's a straightforward process that gives you the flexibility to choose the plan that best meets your needs. And let's dive deeper into the drug plans and how they work within Medicare. Unlike the plans you may have had before, Medicare drug plans work in stages. There are 4 stages that we move through during the year: deductible, copay, coverage gap, also known as the donut hole, and catastrophic. The year starts with the deductible stage. In 2024, the deductible is $545. This means that if you have a copay for medication, that copay will count towards reaching your deductible. However, it's important to note that most people don't reach their deductible, so it may not affect you. Now, as the year progresses, we move into the copay stage. This is where things get interesting. Your copayments may change for different medications. Let's say you have 2 medications, A and B. At the beginning of the year, you may have a $10 copay for medication A and a $20 copay for medication B. But later on in the year, those copays may change. Medication A may now have a $15 copay, while the medication B may have a $25 copay. This fluctuation in cost throughout the year is something to keep in mind. After the copay stage comes the coverage gap, also known as the donut hole. This is a period where you may have to pay a higher percentage of the medication cost. For example, instead of paying a $10 copay for a medication, you may have to pay 25% of the medication's cost. The coverage gap is like a temporary increase in your expenses. But don't worry, it's not a permanent situation. Now finally, we have the catastrophic stage. This stage kicks in if your total out-of-pocket spending reaches a certain threshold. Once you reach this stage, your costs will significantly decrease. For instance, if you've been paying 25% of the medication's cost in the coverage gap, in the catastrophic stage, you may only have to pay a small copay like $3 or $5 for each medication. To sum it up, when it comes to Medicare and drug plans, it's crucial to consider the formulary, understand your copays, and be aware of the different stages that affect your medication costs throughout the year. If you have expensive medications, you will quickly reach your deductible. Again, the deductible is an amount of money that you need to pay out of pocket before Medicare starts to help cover the cost. And once you reach your deductible, you move on to stage 2. In stage 2, Medicare assigns a number to each medication that you take. This number helps determine how much you need to pay for each prescription. The good news is that the copays, or the amount you need to pay, are usually low and reasonable. So you don't have to worry about paying a lot for your medications during this stage. Medicare also keeps track of the retail cost of your medications during this stage. Retail cost is the price of the medication if you were to pay for it without any insurance. If the total retail cost of your medications reaches $4,430, then you move on to step 3. And step 3 is called the coverage gap. But many people like to call it the donut hole. In this stage, you pay a fixed copay of 25% of the retail cost of the medications. Now let's break it down with examples. If you have a medication that costs $100, you will pay $25 for it in the coverage gap. If you have a medication that costs $1,000, you will pay $250 for it. So the copay is a percentage of the retail cost. And it's important to remember that this is a fixed copay, meaning it's the same for everyone regardless of the actual cost of the medication. Now, it's important to understand that enrolling in drug plans is optional, but it's highly recommended. If you don't have a drug plan, you might have to pay the full price for the expensive medications. That could be a big financial burden. So even if you don't take any medications, it's still a good idea to get a drug plan just in case. Plus, not having a drug plan can result in lifetime late enrollment penalties, which is something you want to avoid. And lastly, it's worth mentioning that these stages reset every January 1st. So even if you have reached the catastrophic stage, by the end of the year, everything starts fresh in the new year. A best practice I encourage you to consider, even if you take no drugs, get a drug plan just in case you need it. It can be embedded in the Advantage plan or can be just a standalone drug plan. I wouldn't recommend saving out on a few bucks when the little bit of extra coverage can save you thousands should you end up having to take meds unexpectedly. If you've been paying attention, you might feel like you need some more help. There might be a thirst for more knowledge or desire for guidance after digesting this information. Know that our team is here, ready and eager to help navigate you through your options. When you reach out, we'd be happy to help. Now, here's a quick look at what we do. To start, we're in the middle. Some agents work just for one company. We work with many. This means when we help you, we look at all the choices out there for where you live. More choices, no favorites. Our team knows their stuff, from helping with socialsecurity.gov, accounts, and getting you set up with Medicare, and even more. We're here to help, and you don't have to pay us anything. Now, we don't work for free. The insurance companies pay us, but it doesn't change what you pay. Whether you go to them directly or come through us, our primary focus is to provide you with a comprehensive understanding, guiding you from start to finish. Some may need assistance setting up accounts, enrolling in Medicare Parts A and B, starting their Social Security, dealing with higher income implications, or managing paperwork for late enrollment. Whatever your need, our team is equipped to assist, be it minimally or comprehensively. Importantly, our services come at no cost to you. In other words, we don't work pro bono. Our compensation comes from the insurance companies, not our clients. In fact, charging for Medicare planning services is against the law. So, when we create a tailored plan for you, the chosen insurance company, whether the Medicare supplement or drug plan or an Advantage plan, compensates us. Even if you approach an insurance company directly, your rates remain unaffected. Our services basically come at no added cost to you, and we would be honored to guide you through your choices. To give you some context here, we often receive feedback from clients who've benefited from our services. For instance, Don liked how Joy from our team worked with him to understand what he wanted. Now, he said, "I've had some health issues in the past, including cancer, and I needed to make sure I'd be taken care of if it came back." Now, Joy listened to my story and found the perfect plan with extra benefits for cancer patients if, God forbid, I ever need it again. It gives me great peace of mind knowing that Joy will be there to help me with my health care plan if the cancer returns or comes back, unquote. Leanne talked about how fast and clear we are. And she said, "Brad, help me make sense of all this Medicare alphabet soup. A, B, D, G, L, M, M, O, P, X, Y, Z. I feel like he could teach Medicare for a 5-year-old if he wanted to. He's that good at explaining complicated things in a simple way. Now I feel comfortable that I made the right decision because I fully understood my options. And Carol liked that we didn't push her and gave straight information to her. She says, I can't stand when pressured because I always give in. Then have buyer's remorse. My guide, Samantha, never pressured me to make a decision. In fact, she was probably overly patient. I spoke with her on the phone 4 times for a total of 4 or 5 hours before I felt I was ready to choose a plan and a company. Samantha was so patient with me. I really appreciated her kindness and guidance. Now, these kind words show we're on the right track in achieving our mission to provide you with the information you need to decide whether you want to learn more or talk to a Medicare guide about the options that work best for your situation. If you think we can help, you can set up a no-cost chat through the website or call us at 877-851-3023. We want to make Medicare easy for you and help you make the best choices for you. Our Medicare guides are there to provide that help to navigate through the pros and cons of the different plans in your specific situation. Now, we hope you'll think of us when you need help with Medicare. Make sure to schedule that call or pick up the phone right now to talk to one of our Medicare guides. Again, it's 877-851-3023. And thanks for listening.